Hi, everybody. Nice to see everyone. Thank you, Vivian, for being here. Viviane. Um, I thought I would try something new, and I would try a online chat with everybody just about whatever subject Spirit wants me to talk about. So I hope that this will be something that we all participate in. Um, The subject today is angels. Yeah, subject. Sorry, can't spell. Angels. Okay. Well, if you have any questions about angels, or if you want to share your angel stories, let me know. Okay, I'm going to turn my sound up just a bit. Okay, great. So I have been looking at what I could talk about, and I wrote down a few things. So, as you know, hi there, Carrie VT. Hi, Viviane. Um, so it's going to be about angels, and I'd love to hear your angel stories, and I'll tell you a little bit about working with angels. Um, so, I have worked with angels all of my life. Before I knew about any of this spiritual stuff at all, I hung out with the angels as a kid. As a little kid, the angels used to be in my room at night when it was time to go to bed. And they would light it all up. They would play games with me. I, they were just there. Sometimes they were just quiet, but they were there. And I often think, when I think back, is maybe I was afraid of the dark or something like that, and so they thought they'd come and be there. And they're very light in lots in when they're in their traditional angel form, they glow a lot. So that by traditional angel form, I mean like uh, the kind of the robes, the wings, the halos, all that kind of stuff. They are there like that, and that's how I saw them as a kid. But that didn't last my entire life, just when I was really little. But then they come around often, and I notice that I am more used to their energy than normal. Hey, Craig, nice to see you here. Um, so I'm going to tell you um, a couple angel stories to get us kicked off here. And then I want you to tell me about your angel stories or what you think are angel stories, because maybe they are and you're not quite sure. So I'm going to tell you about Japan. So not this last trip to Japan, but the trip before. I was there during November, and there's the Day of the Dead in November. And I didn't really think about it. When I'm in Japan, I'm only thinking about their hey, okay, hey, Chef Antonio, Craig or Viviani, could you deal with one person? Um, thank you for doing that. Um, so uh, I was there, and I decided that I was going to leave work early. And by work, I work on a little old house I bought. And I was going to cook dinner for my mother in law because my mother in law cooks for me all the time. And I thought, well, I should give her a few days off and cook. And I decided, okay, I'm going to cook tacos. I'm going to cook tacos. And I had brought taco seasoning packets with me, but I needed some of the fresh things to use. So I went and got on the train and went 2 stations up because there's a big grocery store there. And I thought I probably can get some of the things I need there, like taco shells, and I know I can get meat there and that sort of thing, but maybe I could get salsa or the things to make salsa. And I got off the train and started to enter into this kind of the town square. Each of these areas, uh, they kind of have a town square. And there we go. Okay. Uh, in the town square, as I was walking across it, I just felt this clump of energy, like this big, just energy just fell down on me, just a lot of energy. And I knew it was angels. It was just a huge amount of angel energy. And I kind of got scared for a second because I'm like, why do I suddenly need that much angels or that much angel energy around me? Am I going to cross the street to the grocery store and get ran over? I was a little freaked out. Not too freaked out, but I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm going to be really careful crossing the road because this is really weird that suddenly I need so much angel energy around me. And the way I describe angel energy is it's a little bit heavier than ours. It's good energy, but it's a little denser. It's a little finer. Like the vibrations are closer together. And so I could just really feel it almost weighing on me. So I got really careful. I walked to the store, and I was walking to the store. I thought, well, if I got ran over, it'd be good to have a lot of angels around me. So this can't be too bad. Walked to the store, got my stuff, walked back, and I was walking back across the square to get to the train. I saw two angels in person, and they were walking together, and they were wearing trench coats, and they were Japanese. They looked like Japanese women, and I kind of turned around to look at them because I saw them walking, and I don't even know what happened that made me just notice them. They were walking together. They almost looked identical, and as they saw me, they nodded, and then they winked at me, both of them. And I'm like, okay, you are not Japanese. No Japanese does that. They are not going to wink at me. That's just not a thing at all. So, well, thank you, Leah Home Omega, for coming and shooting me a little kiss there. And Maria Scorpio, maybe if I get time, I wasn't going to do any readings, but maybe we'll see what happens. Um, and so I knew right away, okay, those are angels. Okay, great. And then so I got on the train, went home, started cooking dinner. And the next morning when I got on the train, I noticed in the morning, it still was there, that heavy energy, that thicker, denser energy was still with me. And in fact, it stayed with me for 5 days. And as I got on the train the next morning, there were two more angels sitting on the train. They were sitting in the area hi, Gina M, where the kind of the older people or sick people might sit. They were again wearing trench coats, and they nearly looked identical. And again, they nodded at me and winked at me. And I was like, they didn't look like the same angels, but I was so surprised. I was so surprised. Um, hmm. Well, Craig, the letters FO don't really mean anything, but maybe everyone will take a look at that too. Anyway, so I uh, just kept going. I didn't try to talk to them. Um, Part of it is because I don't know, my training that we don't usually Japanese people don't talk to strangers. And I was also afraid that what if they spoke Japanese and I can't speak to them? And here I am trying to talk to angels and they can't talk to me. But it stayed with us for 5 days. And part of the days that we went is we accidentally, without realizing it, we didn't look at the weather. We were going down south to Nagasaki. I've always wanted to go there, and we didn't realize we were taking a train into a huge 100-year storm. That what the 100 years means is it's there. You're only going to have one this severe in 100 years. And this train kept getting stopped and stopped, and then finally it couldn't go any farther, and we hopped out. And then for some reason, and my husband and his family, they never do things fast. They never make quick decisions, but they just said, "Get out, run across the platform, and get in that other train." And so we did. And they absolutely guided us the whole way, because that train went the rest of the way to our destination, but the other one couldn't make it through the water. And we were just fine. And then by the fifth day, it just dissipated. And I thought, why did I need that? Why did I need all those angels? The only thing I can come up with, and my friend Sun Psychic Jean helped me come up with it. Thank you, Craig. Was that it was the Day of the Dead, and maybe they thought I needed more protection or something. So, angel train. I like that. Yeah, so it was really interesting and kind of fun. Uh, Let me grab my list of other things that I was going to talk about. So, uh, if you ever feel the energy change around you, and the energy will feel a little dense, but maybe not bad. You could be surrounded by angels. And in fact, I believe that everyone sees angels all the time. I think that when they want to appear in person, they just look like humans. They look like you or I. They don't look like an angel. And but I would be willing to say, before COVID, I would have said you saw an angel a week. I think you only see an angel about once a month now, or twice a month, because we don't go out a little bit. So, Leah smells roses when they're near. Ooh, that is really cool. Um, I'll tell you another angel story that you might have heard this one. I have told it before, but I did an angel's hair once because I used to be a hairdresser. And it was when I was in beauty school and just learning. And for 6 weeks, you just learn. You don't touch any humans or do any hair. You do, sometimes you do your friend's hair, but I hadn't done anybody's hair. And it may be weird to see me talking on YouTube and being very able to talk, but I didn't used to be able to talk. I was so scared. I was so scared of having my first customer because I was nearly mute. I could not talk to people. And I was just terrified. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? I mean, I knew I was going to do their hair, but I was just really, yes, Leah, my birthday is soon. It is August 13th. So it's coming up. Hey, Viviane. And I was terrified. And they told me my first customer was coming. And I'm going to have to do the next day, my first customer. I was really scared. I was really, really scared. And I must have been very scared because I think they sent an angel. Well, I know they sent an angel. So the day arrived and I went to they called me up and I went to get my customer. And it was a little old lady, just the cutest little old lady you ever saw. And she was just so cute. And I set her down, I did her hair, and we just chatted and chatted. It was just easy. It was so easy, and we just chatted and chatted. I think that one of my people with the wrench, you're probably going to have to do something about um, some of our commenters here. Anyway, I it just went so easy. It went so smooth. I did her hair. It was lovely. And I took her up to the front desk so she could pay. And she paid. And then we came over and chatted. I said, "Thank you for being my very first customer. It was just, I was so worried and scared, and it was so easy." And she, I don't think you hugged much back in those days. And she like patted me on the arm and started to go out. And in the beauty school, I grew up in that beauty school as a kid because my father owned it. And there was two glass doors that you went out. And she went out the glass door and she went around the corner to the parking lot. And as she went around the corner, I saw a piece of the coat she was wearing. I saw it flip up and I saw it as she went by, just that part, and I suddenly knew. I just went, "Oh, that's an angel." I just knew by the cloak that it was an angel. So I ran out there real quick. Not even a second had gone by. Ran out there. There were only two cars in the parking lot, and she wasn't there. Nobody was there, just two cars in the parking lot. And I walked around the cars as if like an angel is going to be hunkering down so I can't see them or something. And then I looked up the street and down the street and down the sideway, and there was nothing, absolutely nothing, nobody there. And there's not enough time had gone by. And I just knew in my heart of hearts that that I just did an angel's hair. And, you know, God or c- the universe thought I was so worried and so uh, scared of what was going to happen that they sent me an angel to do their hair. So I did the angel's hair. And I just held that in my heart all those years, just thinking, wow, I feel really special that I didn't really tell anybody about it either. I was just really, really happy that that happened. And it started off my career well. I was able to talk better and to speak with people and interact with people much, much better. And fast forward to COVID time in 2021, and I was taking classes with Susan Lynn and Medium King Copeland and learning how to be a psychic medium. And they, I wish they, as a teaching duo, they were still back together because, it was so good taking classes with them. They had many, many things to help us learn, many different ways of doing it, all sorts of different tips and tricks and different ways to try to get you out of your mind and into the spirit instead. And one day we were working, and the the goal was to find an angel and ask them to come and help you do the reading. Oh, you think Kim's a Leo too? Oh, that's cool. Um, so I chose Archangel Gabriel because I don't know, I just kind of like Gabriel. And he's all about communication, things like that. And or maybe that's the first angel I could think of. Anyway, so I did a reading for somebody with the help of Archangel Gabriel. And it was so good. The reading was so deep, really, really good, way beyond my uh, abilities at the time. Really, it was really fantastic. And so when we were done and I was supposed to be paying attention to Susan, I, was talking to I thought I should thank them. I'm like, so I closed my eyes and I'm, dear, Archangel Gabriel, thank you so much for helping me with that reading. That was amazing, an amazing reading. And I just thank you so much. And in my mind's eye, suddenly a cameo popped up and it was Archangel Gabriel. And he had blonde hair in this. And he just, a nice looking man. And he's in the cameo and he's talking. I can see his lips move, but I'm just getting the information in. And he says, "Oh, Terry, thank you so much." And he says, "But you know me. You know me really well." And I'm like, "What? How could I know you?" And another cameo popped up, and it was the little old lady who I did her hair. It was Gabriel. Gabriel was the little old lady. And then I heard him laugh and go. And I'm like, "Oh my God, the rest of the story. I did Gabriel's hair." That was that was absolutely stunning, stunning. Even when I tell it, I still get tingles everywhere. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. Well, does anyone else have an angel story they want to share? Um, if you don't, that's okay. I got more. Or do you have a question about angels? Because I can share what I know. I don't know everything, but I know some things. So I'm going to scroll back really quick just to see. Hey, Akila. Yeah, I'm so glad to be back too. Yes. Um, well, I have, Leah says, I've survived so much. Mine must be tired. They are never tired. Mine is in the chat. Craig. Oh, and so now you do ask for healings. That is fabulous. So let's talk about healings real quick. Oh, with certain spirits, he smells a scent of perfume, like an older type no longer made. Oh, yes, I think angels smell good. Yeah. Leah was saved as an embryo. Oh, that is interesting. I am so glad. Uh, you were a tubal pregnancy and you lived. Wow, you reattached. That is amazing. And I pretty much think an angel would have to help you with that. Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Um, let's talk about angels and healing real quick. So when I started actually doing live psychic medium readings, where that I would go to a fair and read anybody who booked me, um, I was hang on, Leah's got something more. Well, I'll take it back up. Mom was on the surgery table. A nurse saved me and made the doctor take pregnancy tests. Wow. Oh, and KK, Archangel Chamuel, was first to show up during my morning healing session. Oh, tell us more about that. Tell us more. Like, what did he do at the session? Or how did you know? You know, oh, Leah. So we got two stories going. Saying they thought I was a tumor. Oh, you're a blessing. And Carrie says, I don't know if it was an angel or my guide, but one day my car slipped on black ice. I was headed for a telephone pole. I was aware of a presence telling me that they would take the wheel. Ooh, wow. Wow, that's amazing. You know, sometimes I can't tell if there's angels or guides or angels. Sometimes they all seem very similar to me. Wow. So when I started reading at fairs, I would read, and then out of the blue, I'd be reading, and suddenly, I'd ask them, what do they want to know, or what they, and oh, Carrie had no fear. Grace the Pole was injured, but not seriously. Wow, saved. That's amazing. Well, and the fact you had no fear, that is a lot of their protection. Wow. Yeah. So I would be reading, and that I might be reading whatever they wanted me to read, but then suddenly I would see in my mind's eye, I would see an angel holding a big drop of liquid. And the color of the liquid drop and the color of the clothes that the angel was wearing would match. And the angels were rather fancy looking. They would have usually a very colorful robe with braid on it, and usually a big hat with braid on it that the braid would match the braid of the robe, and the hat would match the color of the robe. And then the big bubble of liquid that they had would match the color. So oh, here's how KK knew. I knew because I always see him or her as a bright pink light. Ooh. Samuel appeared right as the guided session began. Hang on. We're going to grab this one. So uh, and the spirit animals, native guides, and alien brothers and sisters joined in at the session. Wow. That is amazing. That is awesome. Um, we'll go back to my story in a minute. Craig says, early one morning, I felt somebody behind me. My security camera caught it. They looked like fire beings running very fast, like flames coming from them. There were two. Wow, that is amazing. Mary Klim said, I walked into my kitchen, grab this one too, and saw a gold diamond-like shape floating in my kitchen. I had a reading with Aquila B and was told that it was Archangel Jophiel. That is really amazing. Well, Aquila B would know. She's an amazing reader. Wow, how amazing. They are all around us, and we just often don't know, or are just kind of angels unaware around us. So back to the colorful liquid. So when I see them in the reading, I ask them, why are you here? And I know now that when they hold this big, drop of liquid, that they want to do a healing. And then they tell me what the healing is going to be, and then I ask them more questions like, "What are you going to heal? How's it going to heal? How long will the healing take? What will be the outcome?" And so a lot of times they want to heal emotional things. And so often what they will tell me is, we're going to this drop of liquid will heal. The very first one I ever did was love. This woman wants a life partner, and she needs her the ability to love healed. And she needs to become more steady and more worthy of love. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this liquid, we're going to put it into her etheric body through her head, and we're going to heal her. And I asked, how long will it take? They said, it's going to take 2 weeks. And I'm like, why 2 weeks? Why? They said, well, we could heal it right now. But if we did that, she would walk out of this venue, and through the lobby, she would find a man, a jerk that would take advantage of her, and she'd go home with him. She would just fall in love instantly. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. They said we want it to go in slow and take time. And so I also, when they show up, I have to ask the person if they want the healing. And if they say, okay, and then they will install the liquid and do the healing. Um, Let me just go back real quick. Okay. Wow. So I have seen all sorts of colors of liquid now. One time it was kind of a sagey green, and uh, it was a third party healing, which is weird. The lady who wanted the healing for her husband, who was in a nursing home, and normally I wouldn't read for third parties, and the angels showed up and said, "No, no, we're going to do this. We want to do this one." And they had her hold her hand like she was holding his hand, and hold it really tight. And they were going to put this liquid in her. It's going to go through her and go to him, and it's going to heal communication. And the reason they both needed the healing for the communication is because she had been taking care of him 24/7 for a very long time, and he had really good health insurance and money, and but he was totally disabled. He needed round the clock care, and she couldn't do it anymore, and she needed him to hear her. And so they installed communication, I guess, and it worked. He didn't hear her right away, but he heard her after a bit. And because she's come back to me uh, two more times, and I got to hear the outcome. So that was cool. What else? Somebody else got a different kind of love healed, and it was a big silver drop in a really cool curly cup. Um, Someone else got fear healed. There are a bunch of different things because I don't know what's wrong with people until the angels tell me. But if the people tell me what's wrong, then I can ask angels to help. So yeah. Any other questions or stories that you want to tell? And remember, the chat sometimes can go really fast. So if I miss your story, please let me know, and I'll see if I can go back and get it. But yeah. Um, I want to talk about how you can work with angels, because you can work with angels all the time. They are here just to serve you, just to take care of you and love you and help you. So one way you can work with angels is you can pre-send them. So let's say you're driving somewhere and you need a parking lot where you don't have to walk too far. Before you get there, you can ask the angels to please uh, reserve a parking space for you. Ah, and or if you just as Craig is talking about protection, you can ask for protection, and Archangel Michael is the best one to ask for protection because he's got that big sword. He can really protect you. But here's the key to getting angels to help you. You have to say it out loud, even if it's really small. But you have to say it out loud. I think what it is they need your commitment. Whereas with your spirit guides, you can just think it, and with the angels, you need to commit by saying it out loud, even if it's just a whisper. Craig, yes, at the Albuquerque hospital, you ask for parking because it's so crowded. My mom, who if I tried to, if she were alive right now and I was trying to tell her what I do, she'd probably be completely freaked out and that tell me I was evil and not to do it. However, my mom, ever since I was a little kid, she always prayed to the angels for a parking spot, and she always got it every single time. Um, and I get it surprisingly. Now you got to make sure you thank them. It is so often that people say, "Oh, angels, I need a parking space." And then the parking space appears and they go, "Oh, never mind, I got it." They gave it to you. Can orbs be angels? I had a big blue orb pass in front of me at my old horse boarding facility. It was about 12 feet in diameter. I swear it was Archangel Michael because a few minutes later there was, and I cannot read the rest. Let's see if I can see it in here. Oh, there it is. Okay, nope. Got the wrong one there. Sorry. Let me put this in here and then maybe I can read it better. Well, I hope you add to the story here because I only can see part of it, but I think they can be. I think the way you know is what you're feeling at the time. If you at the time thought that it was Archangel Michael, it was Archangel Michael. I swear it was Archangel Michael because a few minutes later there was a confrontational energy amongst the other girls. So much negative energy that I physically threw up and had to create distance. Yes. So I think that orb was Archangel Michael, especially the blue, because he's known for that blue sword. So I kind of think that's it. But the way you know is what you felt at the time. That's the way you know. Um, Craig says Clara appears in about 30 orbs a night right after I shower and get ready for bed. And she's there when I wake up. Comforting. Yay. That's cool. That is really cool. I think that seeing angels runs in my family. So I'll tell you another angel story, but it happened to my sister. And so my sister lives out in the country, kind of north near north of Mount Vernon in Washington State. And she kind of lives out there just a little bit. And she went to the grocery store one day and she was just there getting some groceries, minding her own business. And there was this little kind of older man standing by the checkout, like waiting for her. And he had his hands cut. And when she got done checking out, he started to talk to her. And I've written this one down, so I'm gonna read this one to you. So on the day she was going to the grocery store, she encountered traffic backups, and that little town only has 2 grocery stores, and she always goes to the same one. But on that day, the jam was too much, and she went to the other grocery store that she never goes to. She shopped and was going to the front to pay when a man stopped her, and he was holding in his hands marbles. And he said, "These are from your dad." He said you would know they were from him. Well, my sister collects marbles. She inherited from my dad his marble collection. It was all he loved marbles, and she loved marbles. And the man went on and said, "Your dad said to tell you that he is always with you. See the clear marble? He said to tell you to imagine that he is in the center of that marble and that he can see you from 360 degrees." And then he wanted me to point out that all the marbles are different, especially if you pick them up and look through them. They all have different swirls and different patterns. Our world needs all kinds of people to work. And then the man quoted some scriptures, and my sister was overcome with a feeling of love from my dad. And she asked to take a picture, and the man let her take a picture. And she said, "Will I see you again?" He says, "Oh, yes, you'll see me again." But she's never seen him again. So, but she knew it was an angel because nobody would know about the marbles. There's just no way that anyone would know about the marbles. And I also have to tell you that my sister misses my dad more than all of our family put together. She really, really misses him. And that was an amazing way for my sister kinda to get connection to him. And I was trying to find it to show you. I do have the picture of him, but I can't find it now. It just the picture when I click on it, it's not there anymore. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe they don't want me to see the picture now. I don't know. Well, has anyone else had any angel encounter that they want to talk about? Wow, Aquila, it's always so comforting when you're aware of their presence. Yep. Yes. I know that when I was in Japan this last time, I often called upon angels to go ahead of me if maybe I was shopping for something. Because when I'm fixing the house, I don't know the names of all the things I need in Japanese. So sometimes it's very hard to find them. And also, when I go into the hardware store, sometimes people don't want to talk to me because they know, hey, there's a guy, Gene, and they probably don't speak Japanese very well, and so they don't want to talk to you, so they disappear. So I would pre-pray before there and ask angels, please help me find the things I want, and please help, please get me people to help find the things I want. And I've noticed if I do that before I get there, it always works out. There's always somebody who will talk to me and help me find stuff. And I use my phone, Google Translate, to like tell them what I need, and they work with me. Wow, KK says, I have so many angel stories I could write a book. Well, you probably should. I'm so appreciative of the angels and all they've done for me, saved my life many a time. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That reminds me that when you're working with your spirit guide team, you should also know that you may have angels on your spirit guide team. And what people like, I think her name's Laura Burney, she has seen angels since she was little. And uh, thoughts, emotions, but I know angels exist. Well, yeah, it could be angels, but Laura Burney sees them in person and in her mind's eye, and she's worked with them for all of her life. She has a YouTube channel, and I think she's on, I want to say Instagram, and she can talk to them. But she said that we are all, that what they've told her is that we're all born with an angel. There's an angel that's on your team from the moment you're born. And there's an angel that will be at the end too, that will be there. And then sometimes you have angels in the team. They can be there. Sometimes they change in and out when they're on the active team. So, but the angel at the beginning, you probably won't hear too much from them. And the angel at the end, probably not so much. Okay, Mary says, my grandfather came out of a coma during World War II and said that my uncle was okay and was taken off the Jeep. He ended up being removed from an assignment, and everyone in that Jeep died. Wow, that's protection for sure. Wow, it's amazing. Well, I'm going to tell you one other angel story. Um, so this was an Akashic reading. So I also can read the Akashic records, and I was at a fair doing many Akashic record readings in addition to other readings. And this young woman with a maybe 1-year-old baby came up and she wanted an Akashic record reading. And what she wanted to know from the Akashic is, should she divorce her husband? And, is that in the plan? Is that is that what's going to happen? So I went in to take a look. And when I read the Akashic records at fairs, and I'm doing it more fast, a lot of times what it is I'll see my own Akashic records masters, and then I will ask them to introduce me to your Akashic records masters, because each of us have a team, and I figure your team knows the most about you. So I want to talk to your team. And so they introduced me, and they kind of walked me along this fence, and on the other side of the fence is the little house that has your Akashic Records masters in it. And so as I walked over there, I saw the house. It was all white. Inside was white. Everything's white. And I saw, usually when I look into your house of Akashic Records masters, they will drape themselves in something I can read, because really they're just big balls of light and energy. That's all they really are. But they will kind of show themselves to me in different ways, so I can figure out what do they do for you. And in this case, there were just 4 busts, alabaster busts of people. They looked a little bit like angels. I thought I saw a little bit of wings over the shoulder, and they're just like marble busts. And I'm like, hi, hello, are you there? Nothing moves. Nobody talks to me. Nothing's going on. And I'm like, hello. And crickets, not even crickets, nothing, nothing. And so I thought, oh my goodness, this is the first time I've ever looked at an Akashic Record team, and nothing's going on. This is really weird. And I just got this idea real quick. Ask your sitter to ask her Akashic Records to talk to me. So I said, could you just say this out loud? Please, Akashic Records Masters, please talk to Terry right now. And when she said that, they all melted and came alive. And it's the only time I've ever heard Akashic Records Masters being a little bit grumpy. But they were all angels. She had a team of 4 angels on her team, and they were like, we told you this was a bad idea. We told you couldn't do it alone, that you should have left us help. We told you. And then and so it seems from what they were saying is that she's an angel coming over here to learn more. So she's there. She just came over here to learn more about humans' relationships so that she can help people better. And she was there. She just came over here for that very reason. And so they immediately had a business meeting with her without me. They were using my mouth, but I wasn't present. I didn't get to hear. I could hear them talking. I could hear a little bit about things here and there, but it was just, this is my mouth going, but me, not part of it. They had a whole business meeting about it. And then when they were done, then they kind of turned me back on a little bit, and I heard them say, you shouldn't have froze us out. You needed our help. We sent you over there to learn about relationships. They practically hissed at her. That means more than one. They said, we don't care if you want to stay with him, if you want to forgive him and stay with him. He cheated. But that is the only relationship you'll learn about. We wanted you to learn about lots of different kinds of relationships. So if you decide to divorce him, that's no harm, no foul. You're supposed to learn about lots of relationships. That's why you went there. And that was very, very interesting to me, that they're like, this is why you were placed there. You need to keep going or do what you do. So I didn't hear what she decided, but they did tell her, they said, you don't because she's like, won't God be mad at me? And they're like, no, no, this is why you were sent there. Remember? Remember? They were trying to get her to remember. But anyway, so that one was very interesting. And a lot of times in the Akashic records, I do see very unusual things. Yep. And that one was amazing. And I've never had my voice used before without my participation. So only one other time that happened, and that was in Japan. There was a lady that everybody thought was dead on the back of my property, and for some reason they sent me over to find out if she was dead. She was alive, and when she started talking, when I could wake her, I was speaking to her in Japanese, absolutely completely fluent Japanese, and had no, I don't even know what I said. So I know it was fluent and it was right, but I don't know what it was. Anyway, that's the two times I have not been in control of my mouth. Is there anything else anybody wants to know? And hi, Jean. Sounds like Jean is here. Yay. Anybody else have anything they want to add? Okay, well, this has been a really fun experiment. She almost missed it. um, I decided that maybe at least 2 times a month, I'd like to just chat with you about whatever subject either you want or I want. And to kick it off, I thought, oh, tell them about the bell. I'm forgetting about the bell. Oh, I heard the bell in the house. Yes. That was one time they wanted my attention. And I'm not really clairaudient. Oh, and I was walking across my dining room one day and I heard a bell. I just, a bell. Just, I mean, I heard a bell. And I thought, well, maybe since I was walking across my dining room there, maybe it's a china closet. Maybe I was walking heavy and they're tinging. So I walked back and forth a few more times to try to make it happen. No, couldn't make it happen. I thought that is really weird. It kind of creeped me out because I don't usually. In fact, usually I'm so brave. And the first thing I said, by the way, out loud, you should know I only work with those higher vibrational spirits. And nothing else happened there. And then the next day, I went upstairs. I was upstairs, and it was too early for a show. And I walked across the hallway that spans my upstairs. And in the middle of the hallway, suddenly I heard a bell. I mean, I heard out loud, not inside my head, outside, I heard a bell. And I'm like, oh my God, how did that happen? Of course, I walked back and forth in the hallway a few more times, trying to make the bell ring again. And it didn't. And I was just absolutely puzzled. I had my wits about me and didn't tell them that I only work with the highest vibration spirits and they should get lost if they're not. Um, I heard, and I just thought, well, that's interesting. There's something I got to know. And I just sat with it for a while. And it happened to the next day. I was in a practice with Jean. And like, Jean, will you read about this? Will you find out what it was? And she did. She went on in there, and the angels wanted me to do automatic writing. And this is the way they told me about it, because in the hallway, the when I was going to the kitchen to get a drink, I wasn't thinking about anything. My mind was completely not involved. When I was walking down the hallway, again, another time when my mind was not involved, where I was just letting go. And basically, they're saying, we want you to use that same not involved thing and just sit down and write. So that was a lot of fun. And I did that for a while, and it was really, I got some good writings out of that. Thank you, Jean, for remembering that one. Yes, KK. I think we have more angel experiences than we even realize. And like I was telling you before, I think we see them all the time. They don't want us to see them, so sometimes you don't get to see know that they're them. But I think that if you can ask like angels, please show me yourselves to me today, and that they will often do that and let you open your eyes and you can see them. Yes, because I think they're all around us all the time. Um, so it's almost time to go. I was only going to do this for an hour. So I want to put some advertisements in here too. So I'll do this in 2 weeks from now. And also next week, I am on Tuesday with for your connection to spirit with Sun Psychic Jean and Wisdom Seeker Joan. And that is in the afternoon. And of course, I have the door closed that has the date on it. I can't see it from here, but the time at it, I believe it's 1:30 Pacific time. And the very next day, I'm going to be on with Allie, Heart and Soul Connected. She is doing a series on the future. And so she's getting a few different readers together. She's been doing it for a little while. And she pulls cards. Ah, that's it, 9:30 a.m. Pacific on the 14th. Yay. Um, and so with Allie's going to do a future show with me. Now, everybody she's had thus far, they do tarot or oracles, they pull cards. But I don't do that. I don't pull cards or anything like that. So I'm going to do it with her, but with the future. So my team from time to time allows me to view the future. And so I'm going to meditate a lot before this show and ask for permission to read the future for everybody that asks a question. If their question is chosen, I'm going to get permission to tell them the future. And so things you can ask that day is like, you know, what's going to happen with my job, or what's going to do this, or how, what is, I don't know, what's my retirement going to look like, or something like that. I don't know. Or just if you ask a broad question like, what's the future like? You're just going to get a broad answer. It's not going to be very interesting. But if you ask a pointed question, like, how many kids am I going to have? Or I don't know, something, I don't know what it is. But if you um, get very pointed, then they will answer very pointed. And it's a lot of fun. Okay, so let's look at the chat real quick here. Thank you so much, Jean. You can ring my bell. Ring my bell. The angels rise ever. KK, you have a good sense of humor. Body transformer. Ma'am, I'm afraid I'm a victim of the changeling. Do you feel that way? Well, I'm not tapped in right now, so I don't know. You'll just have to keep asking that kind of question, or go on one of my other shows and ask that question when that we're all tuned in and answering questions. So, okay. So KK, yay. I can't wait for it either. Um, it would be so lovely if everybody would hit the thumbs up and maybe put a comment in this, and maybe in your comment, maybe also say what you might want me to talk about, because that'll give me ideas. Yeah, see you at another show, Body Transformer. Okay, everybody. See you later. Okay.